What's going on, guys? How are ya? Let's see here. I feel like it's been a very hot minute since we saw each other and since we had a youth group. I think the Bazemores are coming, but they are currently eating dinner without us. How can they do that? You know what I mean? So we're gonna wait on them. I don't know when they're gonna get here, but Matt said it'd be like maybe like 3 minutes. I don't know. What's up, guys? Is Terry Lewis Isaac? We got Arden. Is it Sydney Isaac? Who is it? Is it a... Who is Terry Lewis? Besides your mom. Yes. Okay. Isaac is Terry. Sweet. What's going on, Isaac? How are you feeling, bro? I heard you had COVID, but then I heard you got better. I talked to your mom. She said you got better. And what about what about you, Arden? Did you end up getting sick at all or no? It was annoying. So you did get sick. Either way, it is annoying. Yeah. It's terribly annoying. It's crazy. By the way, who... Okay, wish he still had COVID so he can stop bothering me. Okay, so you didn't get sick, but Isaac was bothering you. No, Isaac was not bothering you when he had COVID. But now he's healed and now he's back to annoying you. Sounds like he's good to go, right? Okay. Well, that's good. That's good that you guys, no one else got sick. I didn't get sick either, thankfully. I didn't have any symptoms, didn't get sick or anything. Jordan didn't get sick. So, who is C Awesome? Who's that? Is that Sydney? He farted every 5 seconds. It's funny that you were timing it. I mean, every 5 seconds. Oh, Sydney. Okay. Hi, Sydney. I don't know if you're there. I only see one comment. Faith will not be joining, unfortunately, guys. Faith will not be here. Just got a text. Okay. Yeah, so we're doing the stream. We're gonna start doing the streams for Wednesday because it's just clearer and it's less glitchy, less technical problems. And so Sydney said no. What does that mean, no? Less technical problems. And today we're doing a Q&A anyways. So You'll be able to use the chat box to put your questions. If you have any questions, it's not all awkward. You know, when you're asking them, you don't have to ask it out loud. You can just type it in there. And I still have some questions from the question box, which I definitely don't know who wrote them. So, and but I don't want to start until the Bazemore girls get here, because I think all three of them are going to be with us. So, and I know that Kaylin had put some questions in there, and so she might want to be here for this. Her name is C. Awesome. C. Awesome. So it means yes, awesome. Like C is in Spanish, right? S-I. C. Awesome. So yes, awesome. Or did you just do it like that just for the sound effect of C? Which, by the way, do you guys do? Because I'm seeing so it looks like Sydney has an account. Arden has an account. I knew Arden had an account. I know Faith has a YouTube. But Sydney, you make content. Your mom has a YouTube. That's cool. Does your mom make content? Is your mom an influencer? Well, let's see here. Oh, don't watch my videos. Oh, I have not. I have not watched your videos. I think Jordan may have watched your videos, possibly. I know Jordan has definitely watched Faith's videos, but I don't think we've seen any of your videos. You gotta start making some more content. Make some more content that's not. I don't know why you think it's bad. Is it just old content? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I see. So YouTube and Google are together. So I'm assuming that it's your mom's email, address. Watch my one video. What's the one? Oh, you only have one video. Is that what that is? That's funny. I made them in middle school. Ah, okay. So well, you could make some more content now. You have some more experience, working at McDonald's and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of good content you could probably get going from working at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure. And going to high school for sure. I'm sure there's just loads of stories, that people will watch and you'll get paid for. It could be your second job, Okay. I don't know if Rosalia is going to be coming with us. I have no inspiration? Is that what that is? Inspiration? There's weird noises here at the church. When you're at the church alone, it's pretty creepy. Not gonna lie. All right. Well, I'm gonna stick to writing. Well, that's a great idea. I think whatever creative outlet is just a great idea. Writing is just as good as YouTube. I mean, I say write a book, my sister really enjoys writing, and she does a lot of what you guys do, which, if I remember correctly, you've done like fan fiction before. And my sister, she does fan fiction, and she would love to write a fiction book one day, and she's a really good writer. So maybe you guys could be friends maybe one day and share your stories. Watch your one video. I can't watch it right now. I'm like streaming this thing. I can't do both at the same time. I could, this is what we could do. We can do like a reaction video to your video and then post it on the church website. Do like a reaction video to your one video. Yes. Oh, Rosalia's here. Yes. So great that you are here, Rosalia. How are you? Oh, Faith. Wow. You're here. Your mom just texted me and said you probably won't be here. Oh, awesome. That's great. Oh, I am so happy to see you guys. Man, we got the whole squad here. This is great. Let's see. I have great ideas for books. I don't know how to actually translate it. So if you just joined right now, you're 17 minutes into it, you have missed nothing. Okay? You have missed absolutely nothing. We're just catching up. Arden was saying she wants to be a writer. I'm encouraging people to be content influencers, right? Cindy's trying to get me to watch her one video on her channel, and I said, well, I can't watch the one video, so maybe we'll do a reaction video one day to her one video. Emma, Madeline, and Kaylin are here. Hello, all three of you guys. How are you doing? We're getting the band back together. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you, that's good. I know we missed like maybe it was like 3 youth groups actually. Just because, it got crazy here at the church with the COVID. And we just needed to be careful. And I got really busy. And just was not able to do youth group. So it's just a hobby. Oh, you're talking about the books. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, so okay. So anyways, so you have not missed anything, right? We've just been catching up. We're doing it live stream today because, Google Meet is good, but it's choppy. There's like connection problems all the time, and it's just kind of annoying to have to go through all of that all the time. So we're going to do Wednesdays on like this, like live stream, just because it's easier, it's smoother, and you guys have this entire chat box right there. Had extra homework, so I was a little late. Nope, there's no problem. I've been reading. Oh, what is that? I don't know how to say that. Ninjago imagines scenarios to keep me sane. Listen, first of all, look at this. Where is it at? Look at this. Look at that. Anyways, yeah, it's a little bit crazy, for real. It's pretty intense nowadays. So I'm actually wondering, like, how have you guys been doing spiritually? Like, how have you guys been feeling? I know it's been like a wild roller coaster with no church, no youth. I know you guys are still doing homework. but it's just, it's hard. So how are you guys feeling? How are you guys doing? Ninjago. Is it just Ninja Go? Like Ninja Go? Or is there like a accent on the ja? Ninjago. Like that? Who knows? I'm sure it's a game. That show is boring now. Oh, it's a show. Ninja Go is a show. Okay. Yeah, to be completely honest, a little distant. Faith said she could be better. Madeline is doing really good. That's good. That's good. That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's been crazy, Honestly, for me it's been pretty hard, for Jordan, she's been Emma Bazemore's on Lego show. What is that? Oh. Okay. Yeah, for Jordan, she's working on the COVID unit at her job. So that's pretty hard, That's been pretty hard. And then everything at the church going on has been pretty hard, stressful, but it's been good, Like God is still good. But I understand that it's still hard and still stressful, confusing, stuff like that. So this is why I wanted to do like a Q&A live stream again, because if you guys had, I wanted to give you guys space to ask any questions that you may be thinking or may have thought of in the time span of all this time going through what we're going through. Like I've had questions in my own mind, and so I know it's not a far-fetched to think that maybe you guys have had questions too. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to, if you guys have questions, or if you have a question that maybe you're struggling with, put it in the chat and we'll tackle it, And I have these questions here. Oh yeah, from the question box that we didn't get to the last time. We're not going to do all of them, but I've picked 3 out of the whole lot that was in there, and we'll try to answer those 3, or at least start with one while you guys maybe think about a question that you might have or something, and until I see one in the chat over here, then maybe we will we'll tackle 1 or 2 of these over here. Because I know Isaac put one in there. I don't know if we read Isaac's. I know it was it was like a weird one. And I can't remember if we did it when we were meeting, but I know Kaylin has put questions in there. I know Megan had put questions in there, but I know Megan is probably not watching this right now. So okay. So do you guys have any questions that you could think of right now? If you have a question right now that you can think of, put it in the chat. I'd like to see it in the chat. If not, I'll pick one of these three. Look at this. Here we are. One of these three. And we'll answer these bad. We'll answer it. You know what I mean? Only using the Bible. Only using the Bible. All right, let's see what we got. I finally got back to the skate rink. It was stressful. Wow, they're still open? That's interesting. That's cool. I'm sure it was probably very stressful. So you got back to the skate rink to do, was it a one-on-one or was it like just like everybody skating around? Rosalie, do you know how to do algebra? Because I am stuck on it. Listen, the one thing that I cannot, out of the many things that I cannot do, the main thing that I cannot do is algebra. I can't remember it for the life of me. It's so hard. I'm sorry you're stuck on it, though. We did read Isaac's Do Turtles Have Feet and a math equation. Okay, so we did read Isaac's. Oh my gosh, math equations. Yeah, you guys put in math equations in the question box. That's intense. Do you play Mario Kart? Matthew Bazemore. Who is Matthew Bazemore? Is it Emma, Madeline, or Kaylin? I think Emma has her own name over here, but I can't tell who's asking if I play Mario Kart. A waltz jump. That sounds intense. The only idea I have of a waltz is the dance. And I don't know how you can do that on skates. And so that's pretty intense, whatever jump that is. So that's pretty cool. It's Madeline and Kaylin. Okay. Madeline and Kaylin are on Matthew's profile. So Kaylin is asking if I play Mario Kart. Well, I currently do not, but I used to play Mario Kart. So I used to have a Nintendo. I used to have the Nintendo 64 when I was a teenager downstairs in my grandmother's house. I used to play that thing all the time. I had Mario Kart. I had so many other things. There was one weird, what was it? I can't remember the other games that I had, but it's then after. Yeah, that sounds tough. Skating is hard, man. I tell you, skating is hard. I'm impressed. Anyone who can like jump and do tricks and stuff on roller skates, especially in the slippery like skating rink. But I used to have, even before Nintendo 64, I used to have just the regular Nintendo. Like as a kid, like before I was a teenager, like I was like 9, 10, 11 years old, had a generic Nintendo, and that had the best games. I also had Mario Kart on there as well. So I used to play Mario Kart. I don't anymore, though. And it's pretty funny because my name is Mario and I used to play Mario Kart. So it's kind of, you would guess that I was the best at it, but I wasn't. I sucked at it. So I wonder if that question was in the question box. If I play Mario Kart. Okay. Well, if no one has a question right off the jump, let's get this. No, you know what's really crazy? So I totally know that it's enchanting. So my sister, when she was a teenager, she used to do ice skating professionally. Like she would go to actual events and do like ice skating, like where they score you and stuff. I remember like sitting in the seats and seeing her do all this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, that's not roller skating, but to me, it's the same. Like, it's so hard. Huh. Huh. All right. So here we go. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pick one of these bad boys randomly. And we're gonna see which question we can get going with here. Because your questions matter. For one. Your questions matter. And I wonder what this one is. I'm kind of scared. I'm like... All right. So here's how we're going to get started. This is what it says. Okay. So this says, does heaven really have gold streets? Does heaven really have gold streets? All right. So this is an interesting question, because how many of you guys have heard that heaven has like gold streets and water that's as clear as crystal? Have you guys heard of that? Those kinds of things? Like, have you heard of like pastors or Christians say that like heaven is full of gold streets or crystal clear water, things like that? Emma said, yep. Yep. Yeah, it's actually very common. But you know, when I became a Christian and I was walking with the Lord for a while, I heard that and I was like, where do they get that from? Like, I always wondered, like, where do they get that, like, idea that there's gold streets and crystal clear water? Which, for the record, I believe it's true. But I just never knew where to find it. I never knew where it said the streets are paved with gold. Like Rosalia's saying here, streets are paved with gold. Like, I never knew where to find it. And so... We're gonna look and see if this is true, right? Is heaven really, the streets, really paved with real gold, right? Or is it imitation gold? Or is it even silver? Or is it just regular pavement? We don't know, but we're gonna find out. Here we go. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so here it is. So it's at the very end of the Bible. Revelation chapter 21. This is the last chapter of the entire Bible. Last chapter, book of Revelation. And John, who wrote the book of Revelation, which I would, just so you guys know, I would love to start the book of Revelation. Like next year or sometime. So Rosalia says, do we really know though? Do we really know that the streets are paved with gold? Like, does heaven actually have gold streets, right? So we're going to look at it. On the last chapter of the Bible, chapter 21 of the book of Revelation, John starts to describe something called the New Jerusalem. The New Jerusalem. And this is after Satan is destroyed, after, he's cast into the lake of fire, sin is dealt with for sure, after Jesus has reigned for 1,000 years on earth, there's this thing the city that comes down from heaven to the earth, called the New Jerusalem. It's called the city of God. And this is how John describes what he sees. He says, "Then came one of the 7 angels who had 7 bowls full of the 7 last plagues, and spoke to me, saying, 'Come, I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb.'" The Lamb, speaking of Jesus. You know, people say like he was the Lamb who was slain. Like, says this, the city coming out of the sky is the bride, right? So it says, "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great high mountain, and showed me the holy city, Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, having the glory of God, its radiance like a most rare jewel, like a jasper, clear as crystal. It had a great high wall with 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and at the gates the names of the 12 tribes of the sons of Israel who were inscribed. And on the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, and on the south 3 gates, and the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and on them were the 12 names of the 12 apostles." So that means John, Peter, who else was an apostle? Thomas. Guys, you gotta help me out. Why can't I remember the apostles? Right? Matthew, Mark, Luke. Yeah, those guys. So their names, along with the names of Jacob, his sons. So like Joseph, Reuben, Asher, Gad, Dan, all those names are inscribed on the city along with the 12 apostles. So then it's, so let's see. Where does it say? Okay, so this is what he says a couple verses down. He says, "The wall was built of jasper, while the city was pure gold." Right? He says it. He says, "The city was pure gold, like clear glass. The foundations of the wall of the city were adorned with every kind of jewel. The first was jasper and sapphire and agate. I don't know how to say that one. Emerald, onyx, carnelian." And then he goes on and on. He says there's many pearls, 12 pearls at each gate. And the street of the city was pure gold. There's that specific, the streets are paved with gold. That's where we get it from. He says, the street of the city was pure gold, like transparent glass. Now that's interesting though, because when we think of gold, we think of like, I don't know, that goldish color, right? Like it. When we think of gold, we don't think of it being like transparent glass, like this, right? This doesn't look like gold to me. And so that's interesting that he says the streets are gold, but it's like transparent glass. And I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. And then he goes on to describe the temple and how it's gold and stuff like that. So this is where we get the heaven has gold streets. And there's another verse, I think, in Isaiah that talks about like the water in heaven being like clear as crystal. So there is actually 2 interpretations of kind of what John is describing here. So the first interpretation is like a literal interpretation, meaning like there is really like a golden city that's going to come from heaven, and the streets are going to be gold, and there's going to be this gold temple, and there's going to be jeweled walls and all that stuff, which is definitely probably likely, because everything's going to be made perfect, and God can have it any way that he wants. And this is just like the picture of pure perfection, you know? But another interpretation of this description that John is doing is like John is describing the church. So in the beginning of the text, he said, an angel told John, "Come with me and I will show you the bride, the wife of the Lamb." And so that's interesting that he calls this city, the New Jerusalem, the bride of the Lamb, or the Lamb's wife, because in other places in the Bible, we learn that like the church being all the Christians, you, me, your mom, your dad, your friends, all of us together make up the bride of Jesus. Like we are in a sense married to Jesus. And so it's interesting that he calls the city the wife of the Lamb. And so some people believe that he's describing the perfected church coming down from heaven, meeting Jesus, and Jesus has like adorned the church in perfection. And he's describing what he sees with the gold streets and the jewels, like all of the number 12, which, in the Bible really stands for like perfection. And so that's another interpretation. Do I think one is wrong? I don't know. I think both can be believed and you could still be a Christian. I think it can either be a real city or it could be the church. But one thing we do know is that there is going to be a heaven. Like God is going to make a new heaven and a new earth. And that is where we're going to dwell at the end of things when Jesus renews everything. And so it's pretty likely that this city is going to be made of gold. But when we are in that time, the church is going to be perfect. We're going to have new bodies. We're going to be perfect. We're never going to age. There's going to be no pain anymore. And so that can also be described as, us being perfect for Jesus. And so that's where we get it from, though. The last book, the last chapter of the entire Bible. That's where we find it. So, and Rosalia said, I think it's one of those things where you have to see it to really know what the sort of color is. I think you're right. Because I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the closest thing that comes to mind is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like, those people who make like sculptures out of sugar. Like it's like the really kind of, it looks gooey sugar that's like being like, formed and made into something. That's kind of like what I think of. Or like hot glass, like when people are molding something. Yeah, I mean, we have 8 people in here. So I'm assuming that everyone else is here. But yeah, I think of like hot glass. So if like someone was forming like a gold something and it was really hot, maybe that's what it would look like clear like that. But maybe I can Google it and find out. Google, what does clear gold look like? Alrighty, so that's one question down. Has any questions come to your guys' mind in the time span of being here? Any questions? Can God make a rock so big that he cannot lift it? I've heard this question before too. And this is actually, I'm trying to remember who. Say it really slowly. Clear gold. Gold that is clear. No, God can lift any rock. There you go. Is that? But if God made it too big for him to lift, can he lift it? Like if he intentionally made it with the purpose of not being able to be lifted by him, can God do that? Huh. I've heard this question from. So I have a cousin who lives in California. He is a chef, and he's actually a really good cook. But me and him used to get into like all these debates all the time. He's an atheist, and he would always like throw some questions like this at me, like, can he would just like, and he knows the Bible too, so he would like quote scripture to me and be like, why did God say this if he says this is another part of the Bible? And it was just, we always got into it, like like into these things. But he asked a similar question. I don't think it was the same question, but I have heard people say that sometimes atheists will ask this question to try to trick Christians into, making them fumble. But I think it's an honest question, though. I really do. I think, like, can God, like, if God can do anything, can he make a rock that is too heavy for him to lift? Like, if he did it purposely. And I think that is a really good question. I will say, I think that I think I'm going to say no. And I think I'll say no because this is what I think. I think when God creates stuff. Oh, let's see. Well, see, God is infinite. And a rock, as a solid, animate object that exists in a state of matter, is unable to be infinite. Okay? Unless God makes it a special rock, in which case it could be argued that it is no longer a rock. Those are my thoughts. Emma, this sounds like I feel like you are you're an apologist. I don't know if you know what an apologist is, but it is that's just a really good answer. That's a really good answer. Let me see again. God is infinite. He's eternal. He is never ending. And a rock, as a solid, inanimate object that exists in a state of matter, is unable to be infinite or eternal. Unless God makes it a special rock, in which case it could be argued that it is no longer a rock. That's like the best thing. It's no longer a rock anymore. Yeah, I think that's a really good answer to the question. I was gonna say that God never creates anything without a purpose. So he doesn't just create rocks. And if God creates a rock, it has a purpose. And the purpose of anything that God creates is to glorify him. So rocks, oceans, trees, people, whatever it is, everything that God creates is supposed to point to his glory and his strength, his magnificence. And so if God created a rock that he was unable to lift, I feel like that would rob his glory because he would be unable to lift it. And I don't know if that's possible. Because if God is all powerful, then that means that there would be nothing that God would, like, I feel like it would be, like, God would be incapable of creating a rock he couldn't lift because he's all powerful. Like, if he could not lift the rock, he would no longer be all powerful. That's what I think. Only God can be infinite. Matter can be finite. Yes, but also yes. So yeah, so those are my thoughts. Really good answer, Emma. We should have like a debate night. You know what I mean? Should have like a debate night, apologetic night. That's a really good answer. I didn't think of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going off the top of my head, just like you did. I'm just thinking about it in the way of like, God, what's your favorite Christmas movie? Ooh. My favorite Christmas movie. But can he still lift it? I'm down for debate. Faith is ready for a debate night. She is on it. She's like, do it right now, all caps. Well, maybe we'll get that. Maybe we'll plan for that or something like that. Because that'd be kind of fun, right? That'd be kind of cool. Let's see. So, but only with the rule that no one could get mad afterwards. Absolutely. If we were to have a debate night, there would be a rule where no one could get mad and we cannot call each other names or yell or things like that. Yep. Oh no, not debate. I get angry too easily. Well, I would like a debate night. Wow. Everyone seems to really like the debating. I debate like my dad. He's a great debater. I agree with the no hard feelings rule. Yep. And the things that we would debate would be centered around, we'd have some interesting things. We'll debate about things like maybe social media, maybe faith in some ways. I would look up some questions and stuff, but we'll think about it. We'll try and plan it. That'd be kind of fun. We'll try and make it happen. About the rock, I think Kaylin or Madeline might have said, would God still be able to lift it though? And I think my final answer would be no. Only because I'm sticking with the answer that God claims to be all powerful, and I don't think that he can do anything to take away from that attribute of his. So I feel like if God got to a point where he couldn't lift a rock, he would no longer be all powerful. Even if he made the rock with the intention for it to not be lifted by him, I just don't think that that's possible. Stay out of politics and we'll be good. Yeah, we'll probably stay out of politics in debate night. Politics tends to get a little bit heated, just a tad, just a little bit. So we'll probably stay away from the politics, Oh, Madeline was the one who was asking. But then he wouldn't be all powerful. He would not be all powerful if he could not create a rock that could not be lifted. Luke would be great at debating, the arguing part. Yeah, we should get him over here to do it. That would be fun. That's so funny. I debate with and I get triggered. Yeah, yep. A lot of people. Yeah, it's intense. I know. We'll think about it. We'll think about the debate night. We'll think about what we can maybe do about it. Yeah, Madeline. I don't know. I don't know about I think so this is what I will say. I think that God could create a rock that's too heavy to lift for everyone else. I believe God could create a rock that no one would be able to lift, even with all the equipment and stuff like that. But I don't think God can create a rock where he cannot lift it, because I think it would contradict who God is. And I don't think God can do anything that could contradict to it. It's kind of like the question, could God tell a lie? Right? Because I've heard people ask this too. Could God tell a lie if he wanted to? Well, technically, he has a mind, he has emotions, he has a will. So, technically he could say the words that were not true, but would he? No, because he would like go against everything of who he is as the truth. So like God is incapable of lying, even though he's all powerful, he has a mind, and he could say whatever he wants. So it's kind of like that. That's how I think about it. That's how I tend to think about questions like that. Don't judge people because they don't match up with your beliefs. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, I don't think we're called to judge people on, if they believe differently than we do. I do believe we're called to have honest conversations with people, not in a huge mean way, but I think all of us should be challenged in what we believe, because I think there are things that we believe that we just inherit either from our family, or we see it in a commercial, or we just believe it because the culture says so, or we don't even realize that we've kind of like believed that this thing, and then something may come up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't know I really believed that. I just kind of done this, so I don't know. So there are things like that. So I do think, I think Christians need to learn to be respectful for people. I don't think we as Christians should expect people who don't know Jesus to think like Jesus or live like Jesus. We shouldn't be surprised if someone doesn't like what the Bible says if they're not a Christian. We can't get mad at that. But I do think we can listen and have conversation and maybe even challenge, some beliefs that people have, with the purpose of bringing truth, not just a challenge to get into an argument, but like the purpose of helping someone see something that's true. And so that's what I think. Why are you apologizing, Faith? People don't listen. They call me names and say mean things. Hey, that's not nice. I'm sorry they say that to you. But what do you do after you have 3 times x and x minus 5? My goodness. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, but I have no idea. I do not know algebra. That is foreign to me, guys. All right. So, divide. Yeah. So I'm going to answer one more of these questions here. I'm going to pick from the bundle here. Pick from the bundle. And we'll answer one of these questions. I will open the floor again after we do one of these to see just to give some space. If you guys have a question, this is a time to ask it. Again, there's no judgment here. And so if there is a question that's been ruminating in your mind, I'd say take this opportunity to ask it. Even if it's an algebra question, I don't know the answer to it. So I'm going to choose one of these bad boys. Which one should I go with? The right or the left? You guys choose. Right or left? Boom, 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 boom. Pre-algebra, but still do a little algebra. Y'all are some math wizards. You know that? You guys are some math wizards. Oh my gosh. Listen, all you have to do, well, even when you get into college, you're going to take college algebra. So you can never escape it. It's one of those things, it's just always there. But once you finish like the general education in college, you don't have to worry about like math and that kind of stuff unless you are really needing it for like what you want to do in your field. So that's some good news. It ends if you want it to. All right. I'm going to choose one of these bad boys. I'm choosing this one. Let's see what question this is. So the last one was, are the streets in heaven really gold? I'm not going to college. If I do, it's going to be for musical. That's a great, you know what college would be good for musical theater? Baldwin Wallace is a really good musical college. They're like known for like beautiful things, like theater, fine arts, piano, orchestra. So look into Baldwin Wallace. It's a good school. Okay. So we got a question here. We're going to go through this question. Okay. This is what this one says. I'm going to put this other one away. This will be the last question unless you guys have a question in the chat. This will be an interesting one. This will be an interesting one that I think is probably really important right now. This one says, how do you keep your faith in God when you feel like he's not there? This is not, so we've been talking about this a lot actually. I used to go to Baldwin Wallace for theater classes. Nice. So you know about Baldwin Wallace. That's good. Yeah, they're a really good school. So the question, how do you keep your faith in God if he doesn't feel like he's there? Which I think is a good question. I think we've been talking a lot about this in our youth groups. This has come up a lot with like how do you keep going as a Christian when you just feel dried out or bored or just not feeling the desire to read your Bible or pray, or you feel like God's not there. This is the whole reason why we went through that series of the heart, of talking about, our heart and what it tends to do, like wander off and stuff like that. So I think for the answer to the question, I think we got to know what faith really is. Because I think we say that a lot in Christianity, like put your faith in Jesus, just have faith. But I think we need to really go back and ask ourselves, right? What is faith? What does it mean to have faith in God, in Jesus? What does that mean? Does that mean like that I should never feel depressed if I have faith? Does it mean that I should never have questions, or that I'll never not feel God if I have faith? Or does it mean something else? Is it something that God gives me as a gift? And I think a good passage for this is in the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 11. I'm going to write it down, actually. Well, I can't, actually. Well, let me see. I am going to write it down because I want you guys to look at it afterwards if you want to. So this is the passage. I know you guys can look it up now, or you can look it up afterwards on your own time, whatever the case may be. But I think this is such a good passage for understanding what faith is. This is what it says. It says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things that are not seen. Right? That's the definition of what faith is. The assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen. So, like, what do we hope for as a Christian? We hope, like one day, like the streets of gold, right? We're going to be in that place. We're going to be in a place where Jesus totally makes everything right. We're going to be safe, secure. We won't have to worry anymore. We are hoping for eternity as a Christian. But this could be even really practical. Like, this definition of faith actually works like on airplane rides. Like, to have faith on an airplane ride means you have assurance that the captain is really going to get you to where you need to go. Like, you really hope that the captain is going to get you to your destination. So you're like assured that the captain has the right credentials, that he knows what he's doing, that he can read the knobs, and like, we are assured that the captain knows what he's doing because we hope to get to where we want to go without crashing and dying. And so we have faith on an airplane. It's the same way when you're driving. Like, you have faith in your car that it's going to work properly, it's not going to break down, and it's going to get you to where you need to go. And so I'm hoping to get to work today. So I am having faith in my car because I have assurance that there's nothing wrong with it, right? So that's like this definition of faith works on all levels of life, whether you're on an airplane or you're in a car or you're just walking out your front door and you're hoping nothing crazy happens. They don't just slip and fall, You trust the grip on your shoes. Like, faith is actually a really practical thing. It's not super mystical, This is just a very clear-cut definition. And it's a conviction of things that is not seen. So like we were giving the analogy of the airplane, like, you have a conviction that, okay, I can't even see the captain. Like, I'm all the way in the back. I can't even see the I don't even know if there's a captain there, but I'm going to trust that there's a captain, and I'm going to trust that he knows exactly what he's doing so that we don't crash. And so I'm going to have faith. And that's exactly what faith is. All it is directed towards God. That's all it is. And so if we go with the airplane analogy, if we're on an airplane and we have faith in the captain, does that mean that we're not going to still feel like a little bit of fear? Like on the plane when there's some turbulence going on, or are we going to get to a point where we're like, man, I hope the captain really knows what he's doing. Like, this is kind of a bumpy ride, Like, just because we have faith and assurance in the captain and we don't see him doesn't mean that it's going to be a perfect ride. And it's the same thing with Christianity. Like, we have faith in Jesus. We hope that he is everything that he claims to be in the Bible. We hope that he is with us, that he is caring for us, that he's watching out for us. And so we have faith in this word. But that doesn't mean that we're always going to feel him. It doesn't mean like we're always going to, have a perfect Christian lifestyle. It's going to be hard at times. But that doesn't mean that you've lost faith in God. It just simply means it's a bumpy ride. You got some turbulence going on, you know? And the goal is to keep trusting the captain, keep trusting the Lord who's running the ship called your Christian life. God is living it out, you know? So how do you have faith in God when he feels distant? I would say keep seeking after Jesus even when you don't feel like it. I told you guys this a lot, but I'm telling you right now, this is probably one of the most important things to learn how to do, is to seek after God, to make intentional effort to read and pray even when you don't want to. Even when you don't want to, even when you are not liking it, you're not getting anything out of it, you don't feel like, the goal is to still do it, because the more you do it, the more you'll start, like the more it'll start to affect you, or you'll start to see and notice the effects. Like it's always going to have an effect on you. Like God's word is always going to have an effect on you, and prayer will always have an effect on you. But the amount of time you spend in it is what contributes to how often you notice what God is actually doing. And so the more you engage in prayer and reading, the more you start to notice, oh wow, like God has really been doing some stuff that I haven't noticed before, you know? And so that's how we do that, you know? Someone said I like chicken. That's pretty fun. I like chicken too, and I'm wondering if that's what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. All right. So, do you guys have any questions before we end this live stream? You guys have any questions that has been on your mind? Besides chicken? I'm just reading the comments now. It's good you memorized that verse. This is a really good verse to memorize. This is a really good verse to memorize. I am doing art now. That's fun. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would chuck some wood. He would chuck a lot of wood. He would chuck 80 gallons of wood, I think. When is COVID over? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know when COVID is over. I think it'll be better if we could get a vaccine out, just like we have the flu vaccine or typhoid vaccine or tuberculosis vaccine. You know, all that stuff is still going on. The flu is still going on. Tuberculosis is still around. You could still catch it. But those vaccines help you to get immune to it. So I think if we get a vaccine that works, then I think we would be able to live with COVID. Because like any germs, I think COVID is just in the midst of gajillions amounts of germs everywhere. Millions and millions of viruses. And so I think we just need to learn how to live with it in a way that's safe. Where we can actually do things and interact with each other and still be safe and not cause harm to each other. So hope the vaccine that they're putting out actually works really, really hard, because it has made life go. Yeah, I totally agree. It's totally made life go gajunga bubble, you know, jaga baba. All the words there. A big bajumble of nonsense. That's what it's made. It's terrible. But we're praying. We pray that COVID goes away soon, or we find something that really helps with it, So, all right, guys, I'm going to pray, and then we're going to end this stream. Man, it was so good to see you guys. So good to chat and see that you guys are doing well. We pray for you guys. We think of you guys. And hopefully soon we'll be able to start to gather again. Definitely in a safe way. But until then, you can expect to probably come on YouTube and watch some YouTube for youth group. Because I think it just makes it a little bit easier. And so I think we'll just continue to do it this way until we start to do it another way. So I'm going to pray, and then we'll end it. And I'll let you guys continue on with your night. Lord, thank you for the youth. Thank you for each one of these guys, these students who are just working through life, Lord, and trying to live up to you and do the best they can. God, I just pray that you would be with them in this time of really hard stuff going on with COVID and school and algebra and all this nonsense going on and work. Lord, I just pray that you would give them strength by your Holy Spirit. I pray that whatever questions were not presented tonight, I pray that you would help them to work through those questions. I pray, Lord, that you would speak answers to those questions, and that you would continue to just reveal yourself to every one of the youth, that they would be lights in a dark world. And we thank you for your grace and your mercy, and we say this in your mighty name. Amen. Alrighty, guys. Faye says, I'm excited for in real life gatherings again. I tell you, I'm excited for that too. I am excited for when that happens. Hopefully soon. Hopefully we'll be doing that soon, and we'll be able to see each other in person. So, alrighty, guys, I'm gonna be ending the stream now. I hope you guys have a good night, and hope you guys have a good week, continued week. Hope the homework isn't too bad, and thank you guys for tuning in. See you later.